So this is the next gen Ford Cherokee. So we got the base model titanium trim and we brought it from BGC all the way here to the coffee farmhouse. Later, we're going to be giving you our first driving impressions on this new car right here. And today we are with Nathan Reyes of Unbox PH, Pablo Salapantan of Yuga Auto. We have Julian Panlilio of Auto PH, and he's driving the white Ford Cherokee. And Andrea Suarez from Ford Philippines and Ogilvy. Before we talk about the Ford Cherokee, let's first talk coffee. And the owner of Coffee Farmhouse was explaining to us the history of the place, how it used to be an actual coffee farm, but unfortunately, due to economic reasons, it is now a wedding venue or an events place or a retreat house. He did follow this up with a very interesting trivia about coffee, the former glorious industry of coffee in the Philippines, and what you can do with different types of beans. It really is interesting. He was telling us about Robusta, about Arabica, and all those other types of coffee because it's a little bit too complex for us to understand. But anyway, this is also where it's the first time for us to see coffee plant, like coffee seeds. It just looks so different from how we envision coffee to be in a cup. We got quite hungry after this, and of course we chose fried food, so we had chicken fingers, we had lechon kawale. Thereafter, extra coffee talk. They told us about the different ways of brewing coffee: drip, French press, or even siphon, and told us that there is no one objective best way to brew your coffee. How you like to brew your coffee is the way your coffee should be. This tour has made us realize that coffee and cars are pretty similar. You know, they're all based on your preferences. They keep you on your toes, they keep you active, and as long as you have some sort of passion for them, you're gonna be very happy having them in your life. Anyway, now let's go on. That's a quick segue right there to the first drive impressions in the Ford Cherokee. So I actually drove this on the way here, the latter segments of the drive, and it was pretty good. It's extremely comfortable. You know, the extended wheelbase compared to the previous generation, you really feel how much more comfort it adds to the car. There's 160 horsepower available. You also have 248 Newton meters of torque paired to a 7-speed wet-type dual clutch transmission. And this really translates to pretty good driving dynamics when you are driving inside the city or in these smaller provincial roads. Now, despite the size increase compared to the previous generation too, it really isn't hard to maneuver this car. Again, we are driving in these extremely tight roads here in the south area, and it still is pretty easy to drive. There is sufficient feedback from the steering wheel, a big improvement from before, and it's also pretty quiet inside here. This titanium model, it doesn't get the full suite of advanced driver assistance systems such as adaptive cruise control, but at least you still do get your regular cruise control, you still get rear cross traffic alert, you get enhanced active park assist, you even get hill descent control, door opening collision warning system. And also, I've noticed lately that a lot of cars have started removing like manual mode in their gear selector, but here, although they did kind of do that, they still gave you a low driving mode, a low gear driving mode. So once you're already driving on mountainous roads, on the province, you can still sort of safely drive your vehicle downhill without compromising your brakes. Also, the next gen Ford Cherokee, it has this rotary e-shifter, and it takes a little bit of getting used to, but it really does clear up the center stack right here, which adds to the improved aesthetics of this interior. Additionally, you get a couple of driving modes. If in the past you only got your eco mode, your sport mode, and your normal mode, you also have a new mountain mode. So people who love configuring and choosing the perfect driving modes for themselves, just like brewing coffee, well then you're gonna be very much happy with your next gen Ford Cherokee.